United States government just revised the jobs that were supposedly real in 2025 down about a million jobs. So, what does that mean? Kind of going forward into 2026, and what does that mean for the state of the economy? So, I'm no economist, but if you fake job reports to boost up the economy, and then at the year end, and you try to change the data so it looks a little bit better, but it actually is revised down, a million jobs. So what, like, I think in 2009 to 2010, it was down 1.2. So that's for reference. Again, I'm not an economist. I'm here to kind of help people get back on their feet, jobs, and you know, try to succeed and win in this economy. Especially if you're a solo founder or trying to start a company or trying to have an idea and get that to market. So that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight is jobs and interviews and some tips and tricks that I've heard from a lot of different people and how to stand out during the interview process. So, tonight I'm going to talk about that. So, the very first thing is how do you get, uh, you know, into the interview process, right? How do you get that first recruiter call? Job applications are running 50 to 100, 200 per job right now. Some jobs are reported to be fake, right? So about 48% of jobs listed are fake. So how do you stand out? How do you break through and find actually one of those jobs that are actually hiring? And then how do you find, and then when you actually try to get an interview and you do get an interview, how do you stand out? So I'm going to talk about the very first recruiter call that you will have. That's about typically a 30-minute phone call. And it's typically to make sure that, you're excited about the job, you have done a little bit of research into it, and you can meet the baseline qualifications. And then on top of that, like, are you an energetic person? Are you this type of person? You know, quick personality profiling. That's what the recruiter will do. So next is when you get into the next round. That's with the typically hiring manager, but some companies do it differently. Anyways, so best tip I've heard recently is doing extensive uh, deep dive into finding out the company and the role, and doing a lot of like deep research. Now, how do you go about doing that with your day job? It's pretty easy these days. You kind of go into Claude or Grok or whatever LLM that you use. You type in the job role, the company, etc., and then you let the AI bot kind of figure out the exact role, and you keep prompting it. I need a deeper research. I'm in the interview process. I want to stand out. All those prompts, and what it feeds back to you should be, whether it's a territory plan if you're in sales, or it's a project plan, or how you've succeeded in the past. Try to put as much data in there as possible. And then when you're in the interview itself with the first manager or equal partner, try to take control of the interview as fast as possible. Don't let them dictate. Don't let them ask questions. This is my personal opinion, but if you step in that interview and start taking control of the interview and showing your screen, showing the research that you've done about the company, the position, the role, and how you can succeed in the open role, I think that's going to go a long way, because a lot of people sit there, answer questions from the manager, and don't take control. Because essentially, what managers want to see are people that are able to start a job and just feel comfortable in the role and taking ownership of what the job responsibility is. It's not supposed to be daycare. It's not supposed to be, here's my role. I'm going to keep asking the manager what to do. That's not the point. The point of your position is to get hired and just alleviate the manager's headache a little bit. That's how you become the most valuable person. So if you can get past that round, the second round is typically the VP, I think. And so the vice president or director, if you want, whatever the title is, right? In the interview process for that level of person, they just need to make sure that you're competent, you can understand the job role, the mission, and how you're going to contribute to the overall team and aspect of succeeding in whether it's hitting quota or finishing projects on time. Doesn't matter. They just need to make sure that whoever they hire is actually going to do and hit their deadlines. So how do you stand out by on the VP or director level? Again, you have to go back to the LLM or the AI machine that you use. I like Claude personally. So you go back to Claude and you start asking deeper questions. Give the position, give the person who you're interviewing with, relay that title back to the Claude. Start asking questions from their point of view. And a really good thing to also talk about is in the interview process with the VP or the director level is your first 100 days plan. They want to see how you're going to come on board, how you're going to ramp up within under 30 days, even if they tell you you have 6-month ramp or whatever. You have to do it within 30 days as fast as possible. That way, by the 100th day, you're actually a team player. You're on equal playing field, and you can hit targets. Whether it's you're a project manager, marketing, or sales, it doesn't matter where you are in your profession. They want to make sure that you're hitting the targets and comfortably, and you're working autonomously as much as possible. I'm sure you're going to be learning a lot, but after that 100 days, they will kind of look back at you and say, okay, did they meet the, what they were trying to hit? So anyways, the advice that I've been hearing on the, for people trying to get jobs these days is using the AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, it doesn't matter, using those tools to your benefit. Create business plans, create 100-day plans, create territory plans, create everything. Create as much as you can and show the interviewer. Take control of the interview and show them what you've done, all the research that you've done. And when you've done enough, try one more go at it. Because let's be honest, if you don't have a job right now and you want to get a job, this is probably a great way to quickly stand out. Is because I know I've equally heard from a lot of different other people that are interviewing these days, and they are not doing this. They are not even thinking about doing this. They think that sitting there and answering the interview questions will be just fine. It won't. It's not going to stand out. You won't stand out in the interview process. You won't get the job offer. And so make sure that you work with whether it's Claude, ChatGPT, or Grok on the interview cycle. Make sure it's geared toward that person that you're talking to, whether it's the manager, the VP, the director level. Ask deep questions with the ChatGPT and then present those findings. That's all you have to do. All right, cool. A lot of questions tonight. Hey everybody, thanks for joining. It was just a short video about how to stand out in interviews when you get them. Basically, you use ChatGPT or Claude to do deep research and territory plans. But yeah, awesome, cool. I'm gonna head out tonight if there's no questions. Hope everyone's doing well. All right. I go live Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. I will see y'all later. Bye.